Welcome back to the show, everybody. We got a great one for you this morning. We have some more info on price for XRP, which has been on fire all weekend long. And some of the technical analysts that have told us we would be in this moment and nailed it to the boards they are going to tell us where we may be going if things continue, and it is very, very exciting. Have some HSBC news that is absolutely important to know if you hold Bitcoin. Mortgage broker accepts crypto and XRP. Big things happening all around the world for use case. R3 makes a prediction. Now, what did they know? Because it is a bullish prediction. And then we hear Ripple XRP will be out and out regulated from an ex-JP Morgan guy. Let's go ahead and roll that beautiful intro.
This is Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Subscribe for new content notifications. Now, here's Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow me on Twitter at BackUpBradleyAbove at the top of the screen. Everything that we're talking about here today. Shout out to Phil and the Beach fam. I hope everybody's doing well down there. And shout out to XRP attorney Seal, who sent me the mortgage news article about the Canadian company. We're going to get into that in a second. Shout out to all of you. Let's take a look at this right now. More than $2 trillion, $2,082 billion plus for the cryptocurrency market space. How about that? How about that? $60,343.71 for Bitcoin. More than $1 trillion sits at Bitcoin's doorstep this morning. Like it or not, that's what it is. And at the number 4 spot, climbing up that ladder, regardless of what the SEC is trying to do. And believe me when I say trying, because they're failing miserably. $1.38 this morning for XRP, which has been on a tear all weekend. And with that $1.38, we're also looking at 87%, 87.53% on the 7-day. That is remarkable, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and keep looking here. Let's see what we're ranging in right now. Ranging between $1.31 on the low end and $1.42 on the upper end. Now, we're going to take a look at some of the analysts that we have been following. Here's Crypto Wizard, by the way, who has over 5,000 paid members in his private group for technical analysis on many things, as well as XRP. Look at what he says here. It's pretty important. XRP Daily Technical Outlook, the weekly chart in XRP, BTC, and XRP closed strongly bullish. The daily candles close slightly bearish, but they are still in a bullish area. A healthy pullback will be great for a long-term bullishness. I look for more scalps in the XRP at this upcoming week. Coming here, just looking at this really quickly here. My pages are loading slow this morning. I don't know why, but and I rebooted the whole bit. Yeah, I couldn't tell you. But let's see if we can get the next page to come up here for us, because I did want to show you just at least the range of what he's looking at here. But if it doesn't come up, we'll go on to the next piece, and that's fine. It's taking a little too long for me this morning. There it is. Okay, so looking here right now, we see that we're at 138, which is sitting between this spot, just slightly above right here and just below the 140 mark. And we could pull back, and it would be healthy to see a pullback, but that doesn't mean that it's over. Markets ebb and flow. They take a breath, as people say. So we have to know that it has been pushing hard all weekend, and we may see a healthy pullback to really dial in again. So looking at this here, Crypto Bull 2020 is another one who really told us we would be in the moment that we are in this weekend. And he says, this is crazy. Looking at the monthly XRP chart, we are now exactly at the same month we were in 2017 when we had the first of 3 green monthly candles. If this was to play out, we would close April at $2.42 and May at $7.25 and in June at $40. That is pretty remarkable. We'll keep an eye on it. And obviously he says if this was to play out, so that doesn't mean we won't see that pullback. We could still see that pullback. You know, I know a lot of people feel like if the price is just not headed up, everything's going all wrong. But remember, we could see a pullback. I don't know where that range would pull back or how far, but I do know that it would be normal to see that. So we'll keep an eye on it. Keep this in mind. XRP rally and Ripple's legal victories could mean settlement with the SEC impending. Now, I don't have to open this article because I think we all understand with the last hearing that it really has put the SEC in a rock and a hard place, because I don't see how the SEC will be able to prove otherwise through the communications from external to internal documents and communications between those sources will have any definitive way of proving anything other than what Vitalik Buterin, the creator of Ethereum, has said on camera, for which we have retweeted and tagged the SEC and Ripple and Stuart Alderati and everyone else involved. And I know that they're aware of it. We know that they're aware of it. And the reality here is that I think this is going to be a game changer very soon, because we know that they cannot prove that Ethereum is not an unregistered security, because it is in fact an initial coin offering, because that's what Vitalik Buterin has explained, and we played that video many times that was shared by Digital Asset Investor. Shout out to him, and shout out to DJ Peter Vass for this one right here, because I do believe that something's coming here. And by the way, we could see Gary Gensler today. April 12th was the last date that I'm aware of, and we'll have to see if he does get confirmed with a full floor vote by the Senate, and it should have been done long ago. But we do have to wonder, is there a conflict of interest, because he was a professor at MIT when Ripple donated millions of dollars to MIT for blockchain technology. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Okay, looking at this here, this is big. I covered it over the weekend. If you didn't see it, from Mr. Yo-Yo, HSBC changes crypto policy, now bars clients from buying stock of companies that hold Bitcoin. Oh my. So now we're talking about HSBC, where Marcus Treacher used to work, and he used to be in charge of 10,000 plus employees there. Now, and he's formerly of Ripple. He's recently left Ripple, gone on, but shout out to Marcus. But the reality here is I see big changes coming in what will look like a legitimate marketplace, or something that mirrors a conventional marketplace, however legitimate or not you think it is. But I think we see something here, not too distant future, that is going to change the way this digital asset space works. And I think seeing things like this is really, I got to tell you, I have a position in Bitcoin, and it's enough for me to be concerned when I hear things like this. Like, what are they planning to do? I don't know, but I do expect to see some kind of carbon tax. The question is will we as investors be hit with that carbon tax if they put one in place on proof of work tokens like Bitcoin, or will it just be on the miner side? I don't know. Okay, looking at this here. This is from XRP attorney Seal, who is amazing. And shout out to you, my friend. And this really highlights that this is coming out of Canada now. So a Canadian broker enables Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Ripple payments. Now, this is a big deal because it's more use case, utility, acceptance, right? And basically Matrix Mortgage Global, say that 5 times fast, customers will be able to use the cryptos mentioned here, BTC, XRP, ETH, and BCH, and several stable coins to pay for company services. It comes down here and says the introduction of digital assets aims to expand the company into international markets where accepting credit cards is not practical. It says here, furthermore, the addition will increase payment transparency, speed, efficiency while reducing high fees. Matrix Mortgage Global Initiative works in line with Canada Revenue Agency's view, saying that crypto assets, listen to this, can be used to pay for goods and services and shall be treated as a barter transaction. Wow, that sounds like tit for tat to me. That is going to be interesting to see how that develops for cryptocurrency. Think about that. Treat it as a barter transaction. I take your seashells for your deer hides. You know what I mean? Whatever it is, right? I take your XRP for the mortgage transaction or what have you. That is remarkable to me. We will keep an eye on that, because if the rest of the world adopts something like that, I got to tell you, that's just amazing. Now look at this and how bullish R3 is on this. Shout out to Dave Rudder here. So R3's 2021 prediction is that digital currencies breaking into the mainstream. Well, tell us all about it, David. He says here, and the article is great. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but the one thing I wanted to highlight out of here is that the underlying architecture will become a larger consideration. Did you hear this? Just like Glenn Hutchins has told us, a big investor in this space. The value is in the protocol. The price of the token is a distraction and uninformative. This is what R3 is saying now. The underlying architecture, the protocol, will become a larger consideration, as to will the different models supporting a CBDC, private and public partnerships, will emerge as the most sustainable model to support central bank digital currencies as a long-term currency alternative. To me, in my eyes, he is now pointing to not only his own network, which now has a token. And, in just a couple of seconds, I'm going to show you some things you've seen before, but stay with me, because I'm going to show you an old video I've played, but you probably haven't seen it if you've not been around that long in the space. And you're going to hear an ex-JP Morgan person tell you that in the early days of 2018 at a future conference, he's going to tell you how R3 didn't have a token and it just made him want to throw up because they missed the opportunity. And that's why we see XDC now been created by the Cordite Foundation, because R3 recognized they in fact missed the opportunity to make a token, which is why I believe in the early days when R3 and Ripple were partnered, they ended up dissolving that and going to court and coming up with some kind of a settlement which did not disclose the details. So, okay, with that being said, the underlying architecture will become the larger consideration. Again, I point to the group of 30. I point to page 31 here, coordinating the introduction of global official sector stablecoins, and cited as a solution here with backed reserves and deposits from different central banks. You could have Ripple, a real-time gross settlement system, currency exchange, and remittance network whose digital currency XRP leapfrogs slow and expensive correspondent banking. That is Mark Carney in 2019, 1 year after the video I'm getting ready to play you. This is a reminder from the World Economic Forum in 2020 right here. And on page 17, you're going to see here where they cite JPM coin and XRP as the most relevant for wholesale CBDC, inter and intrabank payments and settlement. You don't see XDC on here anywhere. Nowhere. But that doesn't mean it won't have value, and it doesn't mean it won't be used. And if I could very quickly, I just want to share this. And I want to share the idea that XDC is created for the R3 platform. Think about small, medium enterprises. If I'm a small, medium business, I don't want to have to go through the trouble of making a token for myself and my company. I get built on top of the R3 platform and the Corda platform. I can use XDC to represent my position. And it may, in fact, be XRP that settles that with whatever the other side of the transaction is, because I believe XRP is the bridge asset between all things. Now, moving here, here's somebody else who believes that RippleNet and on-demand liquidity and the obvious idea, without mentioning it, that XRP could work as a settlement asset, because it's the whole idea of RippleNet in its full-scale intended use, is the IMF. This is something Mickey B. Fresh and myself covered last summer. And shout out to Mickey B. Fresh. He is crushing his channel, and I'm so very happy for somebody. I don't know if I've been so happy for somebody to actually start a channel. This guy's doing such a great job. If you're not following Mickey B. Fresh on YouTube, please do. Like and subscribe and watch everything. Shout out to you, Mickey. And here is this August 20 document from the IMF, and this is just one highlight of many highlights in here about how you can see RippleNet being cited, such as RippleNet. And they're talking about this in the IMF document in the manner of using it for settlement and a new payments protocol for banks and large companies in every different area of industry. It does talk about in this document, which I've covered heavily here, that FSOC could make that decision to deem something like RippleNet systemically important to be able to instantly make it part of the financial system. Now, here we take a look at this. Ripple pilots a private ledger for central banks. This is March of this year. We've heard Brad Garlinghouse tell us this as well. And the reality is, I'm just combining all of this information to take you to this place. This is Daniel Masters. He is the executive chairman of CoinShares, which I believe was either the first or one of the first original Bitcoin funds. And Daniel Masters is also a ex-JP Morgan guy. And back in 2018, he let this little notion out of the bag. And look how relevant it is to understanding how R3 realized after its inception and its business model that we should have had a token with our platform. Again, I think that's why they partnered with Ripple and the use of XRP, for which they still cite to this day that the Corda platform is where businesses can go and build on that Corda platform, and that gives them access to a settlement option, the Corda settler, and inside of that Corda settler for a payment settlement option, you do have access to the digital asset XRP for settlement. And I'm sure now at this point, as well as their own token, XDC, because the afterthought's been created. Now, looking here, let's listen to what he says here about this, and you really are going to like it. Back from 2018, but very, very relevant to what we see unfolding today, which tells me nothing's changed, and they know an awful lot about what Ripple and XRP's ultimate destination is. Listen here.
Trustlessness, we're kind of doing bespoke trustlessness at the moment. So you've got the DAHs and the R3s of the world who are saying, hey, we can give you a blockchain without a native token. That is the thing that makes me throw up usually.
And there you go. That's the thing that makes me throw up usually. And listen why.
Because I think it takes away all that developer power I was talking about before.
So they missed the opportunity to have that development power by giving themselves a token with their protocol and platform, right? And he's laying it out for you. It was an afterthought. And I think it was an afterthought because they originally wanted it to work with Ripple and the use of XRP. But they, for some reason, I think the initial cited reason, to be perfectly honest, was that R3 started to fundraise for themselves before they finished the agreement of what they said they would do for Ripple and XRP. So then that sent them to litigation. Keep listening. There's another piece to this.
Then you go to the other end of the spectrum, the Moneros and Zcashes and the zero knowledge proofs systems that are out there. I don't think in this current environment, they're going to get, I think they're going to be under attack, basically, from, because if I was a regulator and I was going after a coin, I wouldn't go after Bitcoin, I'd go after Zcash and Monero for sure, because you know that they're much more obscured. And then you have, in the middle, you have, sensible people like Tezos who have a more sort of mature approach to that, sort of a truly democratic approach. And you have other coins that are just out and out regulated. Ripple will be a coin that's... So, you've got...
Well, there you have it. He says it right there. It's an ex-JP Morgan guy telling you he's known since 28. And obviously, this guy, an executive chairman of CoinShares, right? Heavily into crypto space. I'll even go further to tell you, he has talked many, many times about the idea that blockchain and distributed ledger technology will put a lot of banks out of business. They end up becoming nodes on a network and less brick and mortar. That's what we're really talking about here. And that is where the world is going. But I wanted to show you that this morning. Now, one other thing I wanted to show you before we get out of here, because that really ties it up for this morning. Ripple's going to be out and out regulated. Believe it, don't believe it. According to Daniel Masters in 2018, it's still true. And everything we're seeing today, as far as I'm concerned, even with the SEC lawsuit, points exactly to that notion. And once we get out of this lawsuit, I think we end up getting tangled up with the U.S. Treasury in a little division called FSOC, the Financial Stability Oversight Council, because I believe XRP is in fact currency. And if it is, I believe those will be the agencies to have something to say about it. Now, before we get out of here today, take a look. I usually show you guys Link to Private Investing Made Simple, but I got something special to show you today. And you take a look here at what they got, and there's plenty of uphold, but trust me when I tell you, it will not be there long, and the Link to either. ThoughtSpot's been doing well, and NerdWallet. Ripple's going to be back on the board. Make sure you pay attention to that as well. But here's what I wanted to show you guys about this. XAMFX. This is what I've been telling you. And shout out to Adam Thorpe, because Adam Thorpe contacted me this morning and said, so it begins. He's getting ready to take XAMFX through Link to, for which they will give you a coupon code. If you don't qualify for the SEC or FINRA's qualifications, and I believe it's FINRA, if you don't qualify for the accredited investor status, you could take this test. And it's not expensive. You could pay for this test, and they have all kinds of resources for you to study up on it. Take 1 or 2 weeks out of there and just cram for this thing. They have a digital practice test that you can take over and over and over. They even go as far to say if you get 80% on this test, they guarantee you're going to pass the actual test. There it is. No more excuses, everybody. Private equity is available to all of us if we're willing to climb the mountain to have it. And I think that's incredible. And shout out to Link to for that. And I will catch all of you on the next one. Remember, crypto tax audit. It is, in fact, the best solution for your crypto taxes. I'm talking about Clinton Donnelly. He's the one and only crypto tax fixer. And I'm telling you, he's helped save over $40 million in crypto tax audits for people. And he has some incredible packages, by the way. I think it's like a $35 a month audit protection package. And trust me when I tell you, that costs a lot less than an actual audit. I'll catch all of you on the next one.